You've made it to week 5 of Strumming for Learning. We've learned so many chords. We're learning a lot of fun songs, and we're going to learn our last chord today, which is the D chord. You don't use the D chord that often in these songs that I'm providing for you, but it is definitely a necessity to know if you want to learn some other songs outside of what you've been provided in this program, especially if you have some of your own personal enjoyment songs that maybe you won't play in the classroom. It is important to know how to play the D. Any chords that you Google, they're going to have different ideas of which finger to put on which string, on which fret to make each chord. This is a good example, the D chord. So with the D chord, you use 3 fingers. You're going to use your 1, 2, and 3 finger. There's 2 different ways. There's probably more than that, but I'm going to tell you 2 different ways that you can do it. All 3 fingers are going to be in a row on that 2nd fret. So we've got our 1st finger on the 4th string, 2nd finger on the 3rd string, and 3rd finger on the 2nd string. That's what's on your chord chart. I have a hard time fitting all 3 fingers in for that. You definitely want your fingernails to be facing down the neck, and you can kind of stagger your fingers. The chord chart shows them all one next to another. You don't have to squeeze them in. You can kind of move them around, make like a little triangle, but just as long as you're staying within those frets. Or if you don't have room to put them all in a row, you can put your 1st finger in the middle and then put your other 2 fingers around it. And that creates a little extra space because that 1st finger goes up between the 2, and then your 2nd and 3rd fingers just have each other. It gives them a little bit more space. I prefer this way, but some people really like the 1, 2, 3, and they just put that middle finger above. Let's see, you can move up the 1st finger or move up the middle finger. You kind of move your fingers around and see what's comfortable. What's really important is keeping that C shape. Make sure it's your fingertips for the D chord. Let's go ahead and review our other chords, get our fingers a little bit warmed up, and then we'll incorporate this D chord. So let's start with our C. We're going to do 1 measure each in our same rotation we've been practicing them. Let's do our down strums, just down strums, because we're really concentrating on chords right now. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, G7. 2, 3, 4, F. 1, 2, 3, 4, A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, that pesky G. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now our D. Again, just kind of lining up those 3 fingers. Look at it, look at the chart, look at your fingers, get them in the right spot. D, 1, 2, 3, 4, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, G7, 1, 2, 3, 4, F, 1, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, and our D. Get your fingers in the right spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your D chord. We're not learning a new strum today. We're just learning that D chord. And it can get a little monotonous just rotating between all the chords. We're going to go ahead and learn a new song so that you can practice that D chord. And this goes to the tune of Muffin Man. So you're really learning 2 songs, because if you already know Muffin Man, you can just play it with this. And this is for question words, the standard for learning what question words are, and the cue that those will have a question mark at the end. So for the chords, you're going to need a G, C and a D. Oops. So let's just do the down strum on the bolded words. And again, it's to the tune of the Muffin Man. We're going to start with our G. We usually start with the C, but this one we're starting with a G. So get nice and comfy with your C spot. 1, 2, ready, and do you know your question words? Go to a C. Your question words, go to your D. Question words. Now we're going to go to our G. Who, what, when, where, why, how, can they? Go to your C. Ask for D. In for G. Nation. Those get tricky because they're just one strum for each of those. You're going to stay on your G. When I see a question word, C. A question word, D. A question word. Go to your G. When I see a question word. And this is where we're doing single strums. C. I use a D. Question. G. Mark. Let's do it again. Start at your G. 1, 2, ready, and do you know your question words? C. Your question words. D. Your question words. G. Who, what, when, where, why, how, can they? C. Ask for D. In for G. Nation. Stay at this G. When I see a question word, go to your C. A question word, D. A question word. Go to your G. When I see a question word, I see. Use a D. Question, G. Mark. I'm just going to play through one whole time. 1, 2, start at your G. Ready, and do you know your question words? C. Your question words. D. Your question words. G. Who, what, when, where, why, how, can they? C. Ask for D. In for G. Nation. Stay at your G. When I see a question word, C. A question word, D. A question word, G. When I see a question word, I see. D, G. Now I'm not going to say any chords. I just want you to hear all the way through. Starting at G. 1, 2, ready, and do you know your question words? Your question words. Your question words. Who, what, when, where, why, how, can they? Ask for information. When I see a question word, a question word, a question word. When I see a question word, I use a question mark. And then this is what it sounds like with just your down strums. 1, 2, ready, sing. Do you know your question words? Your question words. Your question words. Who, what, when, where, why, how, can they? Ask for information. When I see a question word, a question word, a question word. When I see a question word, I use a question mark. And then you can practice your down, down, up strum with that as well. Just like all the other lessons, go ahead and check out the play along practice video, and I will go through it with you some more, and you have something to practice with daily. This is a tricky song, so this one might take you a little bit longer, and that's totally fine. Happy strumming!